Stop everything you're doing because Hollywood's favorite chaos agents, Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent just got blindsided by none other than Charlie Kirk? Yes, the political firestarter himself has detonated a bombshell so wild, it makes the Kardashians' group chats look like a Sunday school lesson. Now, when you put together Katt Williams' sharp tongue, Dave Chappelle's lethal storytelling, and 50 Cent's unmatched trolling game, you'd think nothing could faze them. But oh no, Charlie Kirk's latest headline didn't just rattle the table, it flipped the entire banquet. This isn't gossip anymore. It's a full-blown Netflix crossover event between politics, comedy, and rap beefs. Imagine three unshakable icons suddenly thrown into the same digital coliseum with a man who treats microphones like flamethrowers. The reactions? Outrageous. The memes? Nuclear. The internet? Melting down like ice cream in a Vegas heat wave. And the kicker? Nobody saw it coming. This is the type of cultural collision that makes TMZ look underprepared and CNN wish it had subtitles. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear is messier than a Real Housewives reunion and juicier than a leaked Diddy after-party. Video. Welcome to the scandal that even 50 Centis couldn't meme fast enough. Charlie Kirk, just his name alone, has the power to make half of Twitter log out in rage and the other half start writing think pieces nobody asked for. But this time, Kirk managed to crash straight into the world of comedy and hip-hop like a drunk Uber driver who missed the exit. The story begins with one of Kirk's latest viral outbursts. He didn't just drop his usual firebrand commentary, he unleashed a statement so shocking it had people refreshing their feeds like they were waiting on Beyoncé to announce a surprise album. And somehow, someway, this little tirade dragged three legends into the storm: Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent. Let's start with Katt Williams. The man is basically a walking viral clip factory. His entire career is built on turning chaos into comedy gold. But when Kirk's words hit the timeline, even Katt looked like someone had just stolen his last Newport. Sources, aka Twitter detectives with Wi-Fi, claim that Katt went live and couldn't hold back, calling Kirk a Walmart brand villain with a megaphone. That alone sent hashtags soaring into the stratosphere. But then came Dave Chappelle, the guy who once walked away from 50 million like it was pocket change, only to return as the most uncancelable comedian alive. Usually, Chappelle doesn't flinch when controversy comes knocking. He invites it in, serves it whiskey, and writes a special about it. But Kirk's little bombshell made even Dave sit back and say, "Wait, what the hell did I just hear?" Imagine being so controversial, you make Dave Chappelle pause. That's like making Gordon Ramsay say, "You know what? This dish isn't bad." Unthinkable? And then there's 50 Cent. Oh, the king of petty, the emperor of Instagram trolling, the man who once bought 200 front row tickets to a Ja Rule concert just so nobody could sit in them. If anyone thrives on chaos, it's 50. But when Kirk's news dropped, even he couldn't resist posting about it. He went straight to Instagram with a caption so shady it needed SPF 100. Man, this dude Charlie just wildin'. Y'all better keep my name out your Fox News segment before I start charging rent. This trifecta of reactions turned what should have been another forgettable Kirk rant into a cultural nuclear bomb. Suddenly, people who couldn't care less about politics were glued to every update. Memes flooded TikTok faster than you could say algorithm. Reddit threads exploded with conspiracy theories. And Twitter became a battlefield where Kirk stans and comedy hip-hop fans clashed harder than Avengers vs. X-Men. And let's be real, the internet doesn't just eat scandals like this. It turns them into Thanksgiving dinner leftovers, reheated every 2 hours with extra hot sauce. Everyone and their cousin had an opinion, from wannabe YouTube commentators to verified celebrities. Snoop Dogg even chimed in, posting a blunt selfie with the caption, "Why Kirk trying to beef with the funny dudes and the gangsta?" That post alone got more traction than half of Congress. But what exactly did Kirk say? What could possibly unite Katt, Dave, and 50 in collective shock? Reports suggest it was a wild claim involving culture, comedy, and the state of hip-hop. Something about comedians being the new politicians and rappers being failed philosophers. Basically, Kirk tried to intellectualize hip-hop like it was a TED Talk, but delivered it with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. And the wildest part? It worked. Everyone was talking. Suddenly, comedians, rappers, and political junkies were all in the same digital room, screaming at each other while the rest of us grabbed popcorn. The scandal wasn't just a headline, it was the main event, with Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent as the unwilling front row stars. What makes this even juicier is the irony. Katt Williams is known for eviscerating Hollywood elites. Dave Chappelle is a master of dissecting social hypocrisy. And 50 Cent? He thrives on stirring the pot until it boils over. Yet here they were, all genuinely rattled by a man who looks like he shops at Bass Pro Shop clearance racks. That's the kind of plot twist even Shonda Rhimes couldn't write. This was only the beginning. Because if the shockwave was big, the aftershocks were about to turn this saga into the scandal of the year. If the first shock felt like a cultural earthquake, what came next was a full-scale eruption. Charlie Kirk didn't just toss a controversial pebble into the lake. He detonated an atomic bomb in the middle of comedy, hip-hop, and pop culture. And when that bomb went off, the aftershocks didn't stay in one corner. They ricocheted through late-night TV, Instagram feeds, TikTok dances, and even the group chats of Facebook aunties who usually only argue about cooking oil brands. Katt Williams was the first one to crank the heat up. Known for turning any feud into a roast battle with a laugh track, Katt couldn't resist. At a surprise comedy set in Atlanta, he dedicated a full 10 minutes to ripping Kirk into shreds. Someone in the audience recorded it on their phone. Bless the shaky cam heroes of the internet, and before midnight, the clip was plastered across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok like digital graffiti. Katt called Kirk the dollar store Lex Luthor and joked that his fans probably still argue over which Spice Girl was the best. The audience howled so loud the video went viral before Katt even left the stage. But this wasn't just another roast. Katt's delivery had venom and style. He leaned on the mic stand, eyes narrowed, and spat lines like, "You ever notice how Charlie Kirk looks like every substitute teacher who doesn't know how to work the projector?" The internet exploded. Memes of Kirk holding broken projectors and outdated flip phones flooded timelines. For Katt, it wasn't just comedy, it was annihilation disguised as punchlines. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle approached the circus with his trademark slow-burn brilliance. At a private gig in Ohio, he unpacked Kirk's rhetoric with the finesse of a surgeon holding a sledgehammer. Chappelle didn't scream or rant. He simply compared Kirk's commentary to watching a toddler playing with matches inside a fireworks warehouse. The crowd roared, but it wasn't just the crowd. The clip spread online and turned into a meme template overnight. Suddenly, Kirk's face was photoshopped onto toddlers fumbling with sparklers, Roman candles, and TNT boxes. TikTok teens turned it into a challenge, filming themselves acting like Kirk toddlers in fireworks aisles, pretending to set things off. Even Cardi B reposted the clip with the caption, "This some real facts though." That's when you knew. It wasn't just viral. It was pandemic-level internet wildfire. And then came 50 Cent, the godfather of trolling. The Minister of Petty, the undisputed heavyweight champion of making other people miserable for fun. 50 went nuclear on Instagram. Day one, he posted a picture of Kirk photoshopped as a power character, sitting in the courtroom looking guilty. Caption, "Y'all know who this is, right? Snitch Kirk." Day two, Kirk's head pasted onto Tekashi 6699's rainbow hair with the caption, "Welcome to the family, Nikki Kirkaj." Day three, a photoshopped Kirk in a pink church hat, labeled Auntie Charlie at the Sunday potluck. Every post got more engagement than Kirk's entire career. Fans lived for it. The comment sections became comedy clubs. Even people who had no idea who Kirk was started following just to keep up with 50's digital roast parade. When 50 Cent commits to trolling, it's like the Olympics. He's not just competing, he's rewriting the rule book. But the internet wasn't content to watch from the sidelines. Oh no, it mutated the chaos into every imaginable form. TikTok creators launched the Kirk Face Challenge, imitating his shocked expressions while lip-syncing Katt's roast lines. Twitter threads turned Chappelle's toddler analogy into a full-blown saga of Kirk as the baby in every disaster movie poster. Reddit flooded with Kirk conspiracy theories, ranging from he's a failed stand-up comedian to maybe he's secretly in 50's next TV show. Even Facebook aunties, yes, the same ones who still think Minions memes are comedy gold, jumped in, posting Kirk memes next to inspirational Bible verses. And just when it looked like Kirk might quietly retreat, he doubled down. The man released a follow-up statement. Instead of apologizing or walking back, he swung harder. He accused Katt, Dave, and 50 of being predictable entertainers feeding off outrage and dared them to clap back. Imagine poking 3 lions with a stick and asking, "Is that all you got?" That's exactly what Kirk did. "Is that all you got?" That's exactly what Kirk did. The clapbacks came fast. Katt roasted him again on stage, this time saying Kirk should audition for Real Housewives since he loves drama more than jokes. The audience lost their minds. Dave crafted another metaphor. Listening to Kirk is like hearing a bootleg preacher trying to sell you Wi-Fi miracles. That line trended so hard, people started selling t-shirts with Kirk's face and the slogan, "Wi-Fi Preacher." And 50? He outdid himself, posting Kirk's face on a cereal box labeled Kirk Flakes, now with 100% more nonsense. Instagram lost its collective soul. By this point, late-night TV shows couldn't resist jumping in. Stephen Colbert joked that the feud was the strangest crossover since Scooby-Doo teamed up with Batman. Jimmy Kimmel called Kirk the world's first troll to accidentally step into the lion's den. Trevor Noah summed it up best. You know the world's upside down when Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent all agree on something. Celebrities who had no dog in the fight began chiming in just to join the wave. Kevin Hart tweeted, "I'm just glad it's not me this time." Kim Kardashian posted a selfie with the caption, "At least my drama doesn't involve Charlie Kirk." Snoop Dogg casually dropped a blunt selfie and wrote, "Why Kirk trying to beef with the funny dudes and the gangsta? Wrong lane, nephew." Every reaction only fueled the fire. The scandal wasn't just trending, it was metastasizing. It became the main conversation at barbershops, college dorms, office water coolers, and even Sunday sermons where pastors slid Kirk roasts into their metaphors. The internet didn't just laugh. It organized, dissected, and weaponized the chaos into something much bigger than Kirk probably ever intended. And here's the insane part. Through it all, Charlie Kirk kept trying to keep his chest out like he was winning. But let's be honest, this wasn't a debate. This was a roast session of cosmic proportions. He wasn't the gladiator in the arena. He was the clown thrown into a lion pit, and the crowd loved every second of the blood sport. The escalation wasn't over. It was still snowballing. Because when you mix Katt's razor tongue, Dave's surgical metaphors, and 50 Cent's meme machine with the gasoline of the internet, you don't just get a scandal. You get a cultural wildfire no one can put out. By the time the smoke started to clear, the scandal wasn't just another viral headline, it was folklore. What began as Charlie Kirk tossing out his usual firebrand rant had mutated into the cultural crossover of the decade. And the aftermath? It left reputations scarred, memes immortalized, and an entire generation of internet users with a new favorite circus to rewatch on loop. Katt Williams came out of the chaos like a phoenix in designer shades. His roasts didn't just land, they detonated. Clips of him calling Kirk the dollar store Lex Luthor and the real housewife of cable news became instant classics. Old fans flocked back, new fans discovered him, and suddenly comedy clubs couldn't print tickets fast enough. It was like Katt had turned Kirk into his marketing department without even sending him an invoice. But with that spotlight came pressure. Every new set Katt performed was scrutinized, recorded, and uploaded within minutes. People weren't just expecting comedy. They were waiting for the next Kirk knockout punch. It was a blessing and a curse. For a man who thrives on chaos, being boxed in by expectation is its own kind of prison. Dave Chappelle, on the other hand, played it like a grandmaster. His toddler with fireworks analogy had already gone down in meme history, and his follow-up about Kirk being a bootleg Wi-Fi preacher cemented him as the philosopher king of the scandal. He didn't need to scream, roast, or troll. His calm, cutting observations sliced deeper than 1,000 Twitter threads. Fans hailed him as the voice of reason in a world gone mad. Universities even started referencing his Kirk metaphors in lectures about culture and politics. But Dave, he probably didn't care. He was likely somewhere in Ohio, rolling a joint and laughing at how his casual, off-the-cuff comments became academic citations. That's the kind of untouchable cool that no scandal can tarnish. And then there's 50 Cent, the man who basically transformed Kirk into his personal Instagram intern. His meme rampage was nothing short of legendary. Kirk in rainbow wigs, Kirk as Tekashi, Kirk as a cereal mascot. Each post was a new chapter in the digital comedy Bible. Fans dubbed him the Minister of Petty Affairs, and for once, the title felt like an understatement. Mainstream outlets that usually ignore hip-hop gossip were forced to cover it, with headlines like 50 Cent's memes outshine political feud. For 50, this wasn't just trolling, it was a victory lap. But there were consequences. Whispers surfaced that some of his sponsors were nervous about being linked to his non-stop roast fest. Did that stop him? Absolutely not. If anything, it made him troll harder, because nothing fuels 50 quite like the possibility of someone telling him to calm down. And what about Charlie Kirk? Oh, the man who started it all? His reputation became a bizarre paradox. Among his loyal followers, he was hailed as a truth teller who stood up to Hollywood elites. Among everyone else, he was a walking punchline. His name became shorthand for clueless hot takes, the type of commentary you laugh at before muting. But here's the twisted irony. He was more famous than ever. People who had never uttered his name were suddenly debating him at brunch tables. In the twisted economics of clout, Kirk somehow won by losing. The cultural impact was undeniable. Social media had turned into a gladiator arena, with Kirk as the unwilling clown and Katt, Dave, and 50 as the crowd-pleasing executioners. Fans didn't just watch, they participated. Every new roast sparked new memes. Every meme spawned reaction videos. Every reaction video fueled think pieces. Even TikTok kids who couldn't point out Kirk on a map joined in, because the scandal wasn't about politics anymore, it was about the spectacle. It was about entertainment. Late-night hosts squeezed every last drop from the saga. Colbert kept running gags, Kimmel played Kirk meme compilations on air, and Trevor Noah labeled it the most entertaining cultural accident of the decade. Podcasts across the political spectrum milked it for content. YouTube gossip channels pumped out daily updates with titles like Kirk vs. Katt, Round 5, Who's Winning the Internet? And audiences, they couldn't get enough. It was the digital version of a car crash, too horrifying to ignore, too funny to look away. But the deeper impact went beyond comedy. This scandal exposed the fragility of celebrity reputations in the age of memes. Katt, Dave, and 50 were giants, untouchable in their lanes. Yet one viral rant from Kirk yanked them into a circus they didn't sign up for. They came out on top, sure, but the fact that Kirk could drag them in at all was a reminder: nobody is safe. In the internet age, even legends can get pulled into the mud by someone with a Wi-Fi connection and a reckless mouth. Fans started to see the bigger picture. It wasn't politics versus comedy. It wasn't hip-hop versus hot takes. It was proof that culture itself has become a battlefield where everyone is fighting for attention, clicks, and clout. Relevance is the only currency, and the internet decides who's rich and who's broke. Katt, Dave, and 50 had the tools to flip it back on Kirk, but not everyone does, and that lingering question hung in the air. What happens next? Will Katt keep roasting Kirk until the end of time, turning his comedy sets into roast battles with a side of stand-up? Will Dave use the saga as material for a Netflix special, spinning metaphors that will be quoted in classrooms for years? Will 50 Cent launch an entire meme-based merchandise line called Kirkware? Or will Kirk double down again, daring the internet to torch him even harder? Nobody knows. That's the terrifying, hilarious beauty of it. The scandal may fade from headlines, but in meme culture, it will live forever. Every time someone compares a clueless rant to Kirk energy, every time someone reposts the toddler with fireworks meme, the saga lives on, and that's the ultimate irony. Kirk wanted to challenge culture, and in doing so, he accidentally became part of it, cemented not as a hero, not as a villain, but as the butt of one of the greatest digital roasts in modern memory. In the end, the aftermath wasn't clean. It wasn't tidy. It was messy, outrageous, and unforgettable. And maybe that's the perfect reflection of the age we live in, a time when one reckless rant can collide with comedy legends and hip-hop moguls, producing a scandal so juicy it makes Kardashians look like background extras. Because in today's world, scandals don't just happen, they evolve, they metastasize, and they linger. And this one reminded us that the line between politics, entertainment, and chaos isn't a line at all. It's a meme template, waiting to be filled, and there you have it. The scandal that dragged Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent into Charlie Kirk's chaos like unwilling cast members in the messiest crossover episode of all time. We just witnessed comedy legends roasting a political fire starter, hip-hop's troll king turning Instagram into a roast arena, and the internet turning every second into memes, think pieces, and TikTok challenges. And if you thought this saga was wild, just wait. Tomorrow somebody else will say something even dumber, and the cycle will start all over again. Think even dumber, and the cycle will start all over again. So don't play yourself. Hit that like button like it owes you child support. Slam that subscribe like you're blocking your ex from using your Netflix password. And smash that notification bell like you just caught your neighbor stealing Wi-Fi. Because here at Fame Flaws, we don't just report the scandals, we marinate them, deep fry them, and serve them with extra sauce until the internet can't handle another bite. Now I need you in the comments, whose reaction cooked Kirk the hardest? Was it Katt Williams calling him the dollar store Lex Luthor? Was it Dave Chappelle's toddler with fireworks analogy that turned into an entire TikTok movement? Or was it 50 Cent's rainbow wig Photoshop masterpiece that single-handedly shut down Instagram? Drop your pick, because this circus only works when the audience throws popcorn at the ring. Remember, scandals don't sleep, lies don't expire, and egos don't deflate. That means Fame Flaws doesn't clock out either. Every upload here is a new cultural car crash served straight to your screen. So buckle up, fam, because in the world of celebrity chaos, when the fame cracks, the flaws always show. This is Fame Flaws. Out.